What if every backup quarterback became the starter? We've already seen some backup quarterbacks have phenomenal starts to the season. Justin Fields was the backup to start the season after Russell Wilson was named the starter, but he has the Steelers at 3-0 undefeated. Sam Darnold probably would have been the backup if J.J. McCarthy didn't get injured, but he also has his team 3-0. Then you have Malik Willis helping his Packers get 2 wins in a row, and then Andy Dalton stepping in for Bryce Young and helping the Panthers get their first win of the season. Now, I did this video 2 years ago and it was a fun one, so I decided to bring it back. We had the Niners and Jimmy G take on Brett Ripien and the Broncos in the Super Bowl. Denver ended up winning that one. So what happens if every team has to call upon their backup? Now, like I said, we're using the beginning of the season depth chart. So even though we're heading into week number 4, the Bears are going to be starting Tyson Bagent. I call him the secret agent. The Bengals are going to be starting Jake Browning. He's taking over for Joe Burr. We'll see if he can help them have a better start to their 0-3 season. Mitchell Trubisky is going to take over for Josh Allen. Might be one of the biggest downgrades in the video. Or maybe not. Maybe Trubisky can prove me wrong. We're going to see if Zach Wilson can help the Broncos win 2 in a row. In this series, he's taking over for Bo Nix. The Browns are going to be starting famous Jameis Winston instead of Deshaun Watson. The Buccaneers are going to move on from Baker. They're now going to be starting Kyle Trask. Arizona's going to be moving on from Kyler Murray, and Clayton Tune is going to take over. The Chargers already have dealt with some injury problems with Justin Herbert. Taylor Heineke is going to be their new QB1. Kansas City is not going to have the best quarterback in the league anymore. Now it's Carson the Ginger Jesus Wentz. Indianapolis might actually want to do this if they're trying to compete right now. I mean, Joe Flacco had himself a pretty solid season last year. Now he's going to take over for Richardson. The Commanders had one of the best performances in rookie history by Jaden Daniels, but now they have to hand over the reins to Marcus Mariota. The Cowboys were not in a rush to make this change. Dak Prescott demoted. Cooper promoted. The Dolphins had to watch Tua get yet another concussion, unfortunately, so now they have to start Skylar Thompson. They asked Jalen what the problem was. He said everything hurts. Oh, Kenny Pickett is going to take over for him while he recovers. Kirk has to take a sabbatical and visit his cousins, so now Michael Penix Jr. is going to be the starter in ATL. Brock Purdy's going to take a break for the Niners, and Josh Dobbs is going to step in with his 89 speed. The G-men are in great hands when it comes to wide receiver. Malik Neighbors is insane, but will Drew Lock have a better connection with him than Daniel Jones? We're going to find out. The Jaguars have been struggling. I think they've lost 8 in a row, so maybe a quarterback change is exactly what they need. Mac Jones is going to be the new QB1. The Jets made sure they had a good backup this year. Aaron Rodgers once again out, but now Tyrod Taylor, one of the best backups in the league in my opinion, is in at QB1. The Lions are going to move on from Jared Goff. He's going to take this season off, and they got themselves a hooker. Hendon, the new starter for Detroit. We already saw what Malik Willis has been able to do. Can he continue to be great? In this video, he's the starter in Green Bay. Andy Dalton already showed what he's capable of last week. Panthers probably upgraded. Now the Patriots might make this move in the next week or 2. So right now Jacoby is still the starter, which means Drake May is going to be the starter in this video. Aiden O'Connell is going to be taking over for Gardner Minshew in Las Vegas. The Rams are going to move on from Matthew Stafford. They're going to replace him with a guy they beat in the NFC Championship game not too long ago, Jimmy Garoppolo. Baltimore is going to miss Lamar Jackson. Josh Johnson has some big shoes to fill for the Ravens. New Orleans is going to move on to their rookie quarterback, Spencer Rattler. Derek Carr is going to take a back seat. So will Geno Smith for the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Howell, very capable quarterback number 2, is now their starter. The Steelers, of course, very complicated quarterback room. I mean, Tomlin still has not named Fields the official starter. It's very confusing, but they're getting it done. Fields has done really well in real life, and we're going to find out if he can do well in this video. The Texans are going to push Stroud on the bench, and Davis Mills is going to take over in his place at a 65 overall. The Titans are going to move on from Will Levis, and now they're going to be starting Mason Rudolph at quarterback. And then last but not least, Sam Darnold has beaten some really good teams, the Niners and the Texans, already this season, and he do the same thing in this simulation. So now we go to the playoffs and see which one of these backup quarterbacks can take their teams to the the postseason. The Browns with Jameis Winston get the 1 seed. Texans and Davis Mills get 2nd. Steelers with Fields end up 11-6. Bengals go 10-7 with Browning. Ravens with Josh Johnson make it. Same with the Jets and Tyrod. Then the Broncos with Zach Wilson get the last spot. The Patriots and Titans went 9-8 but barely missed out. Chiefs, Bills, and Dolphins did not make it to the postseason. Meanwhile, in the NFC, Sam Howell goes 13-4 with Seattle. Pickett helps the Eagles go 12-5. Niners go 12-5 with Dobbs. Falcons go 11-6 with Penix. Cowboys with Rush also go 11-6. The Packers with Malik Willis, 11 wins. And then the Vikings with Darnold. So the backups that are cooking in real life cooked in this sim as well. Now the Panthers with Dalton only went 7-10. NFC was tough. Lions missed out on the playoffs. Passing yards leader Jimmy Garoppolo, Rush, Flacco, Pickett, and Wentz in the top 5. When you scroll down to see who had the least amount in the league, it ends up being Jameis Winston. Most touchdowns, Josh Dobbs. Tyrod was 2nd. Rush, Clayton Tune, and then Taylor Heineke in the top 5. Also, Trask and Willis tied for 5th with 31 passing touchdowns. A lot of interceptions is what I'm seeing. Almost every quarterback. Pickett took care of the football, but everyone else had double-digit interceptions, so he might be in the driver's seat. For MVP, I mean, look at this. He also had the best completion percentage and the best passer rating. Only other quarterback with over 100 was Josh Dobbs. Nick Chubb had the most rushing yards. That's why Jameis was not throwing for a lot of passing yards. Jacobs, Najee, Aaron Jones, and Walker rounding out the top 5 runners. Here's everyone that had at least 1,000 on the ground. Oh, 20 touchdowns. Rushing for Joe Mixon, McCaffrey, Henry, Zeke, Pollard, Mostert, and Kamara. At the top of that category, Cooper Kupp with the most receiving yards, 1,697 downs. Olave, Jefferson, Smitty in the top 5, man. That hit he took on Sunday. Hopefully he recovers quickly, man. Not cool. 16 touchdowns by Cooper Kupp. He leads the way. Amon-Ra, Godwin, Reynolds, and more in the top 5. And then Kupp with the triple crown for the 2nd time in his career. Jefferson, Tyreek Kittle, and Olave in the top 5. 4 receptions, along with Travis Kelce on defense. Jack Campbell had the most tackles for a loss. Greg Rousseau at 22, and he also had 24 sacks. I believe he broke the record right there. Nnamdi Madubuike, formerly known as Justin, Aiden Hutchinson, Braden Fisk, and Chris Jones, along with Khalil Mack in the top 5 for sacks. Tre'Davious with 8 INTs, then a bunch of guys with 7. MVP goes to Kenny Pickett. Like I said, man, he does have some really good weapons. Look at Greg Rousseau in the top 5. That's what I'm talking about. I like that, EA. Thank you for finally putting defensive players high when they, accomplish a feat like breaking a sack record. Like, he deserves to be in the top 5. Also, McCaffrey in the top 5 is pretty cool to see. Mixing the top 10. OPOY goes to him in the AFC. DPOY to Greg Rousseau. In the NFC, it goes to Tremaine Edmonds. And OPOY is Cooper Kupp. Best QB, Pickett, once again. And in the AFC, it goes to Jake Browning. Starting off with the Ravens and Texans in a wild card, a repeat of last year's divisional round matchup in the AFC. But there's a lot of new faces on this Texans offense. Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs. They know what it's like to play in the playoffs. Oh, big drop right there by Dalton. Can him and Mills get on the same page on this 3rd and 7, or will Davis look elsewhere? He's dropping back. Plenty of time to throw it. Almost too much time. Only 3 guys rushing him. So he eventually finds someone open. Tank Dell keeps the chains moving. Big 3rd and 11 though. Not quite. Past midfield. Mills is going to go to Mixon on the screen. Joe cannot get there. Roquan, the first to get to him. And the Ravens force a punt. So here we go. Josh Johnson going to hand it off to Derrick Henry. We're going to probably see a lot of that in this game. Or maybe not. Here comes the 5 wide on 2nd down and 1. Henry is now going to be in the backfield. He's going to stay in motion. Johnson instead going to pass it, and he's going to go down. Great pressure by the Texans D-line. Remember, Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr., man, a lot of guys that can get after the quarterback. 3rd and 9. Johnson with good protection. He's going to find Nelson Aguilar, who catches that one and gets the 1st down. 3rd and inches. The Texans with a chance to force a punt. They're going to do that. Josh Johnson probably made the wrong read by not handing it off to Nelson Aguilar. They're going to get stopped behind a line of scrimmage. Ravens are the first ones to get points in this game. Texans answer with a touchdown, but so does Baltimore. And now we're on the seesaw. Both teams have had the lead at some point in this game. We're knotted up at 21. 21. Actually, it's the Ravens up by 3. Both teams have turned it over once. Does Davis Mills have a game-tying or game-winning drive in him? 1st and 10. He almost throws an interception to Roquan. Has to be more careful. 1 minute and 54 seconds left on the clock. 4-man rush. Mills getting hit as he throws it. Tank Dell gonna get the first. However, a couple plays later, with Davis Mills feeling himself, he's gonna throw it right into the hands of Kyle Hamilton, intended for Stephon Diggs. And Baltimore, led by Josh Johnson, is headed to the divisional round. First up on the NFC side, we have the Eagles with the MVP, Kenny Pickett, taking on the Vikings with Sam Darnold. Philly gets the ball first. Saquon in motion on 1st down and 10. Here's Pickett in the backfield by himself, gonna find 26, who's having himself a great start to the season in real life. Pickett by his lonesome once again in the backfield. Are the Vikings gonna send a blitz? No, they only rush 4, but it's zone coverage, and Harrison Smith still got it. He gets the swat and forces Philly to settle for 3. So now it's his quarterback, Darnold, taking over with his team down 3, but all of his weapons healthy. Hawkinson back in, Addison back in, Aaron Jones with a nasty run. I don't know why he stopped at the end, but he still picks up 7. Bunch to the left, Darnold under center. I just really like seeing these quarterbacks redemption stories. I mean, how can you not love it? Even Geno, a couple seasons ago, after pretty much being an afterthought, like no one expected him to have this resurgence later on in his career. Jefferson with his first catch, and now we have Darnold, we have Malik Willis, Justin Fields. I mean, sometimes all you need is a change of scenery. Look at Baker. But we're gonna see who ends up being the best backup in this video. Darnold getting hit as he throws it right into the hands of CJ. Philly gets the INT. We're gonna see if they can get any points on that drive. They do not. The Vikings get the ball back. They answer with a touchdown, but Philly takes the lead back, and it's all Eagles in the second half. 31-10 at one point, but here come the Vikings. Only down 8, 33 seconds left in the game, and they have no timeout, so Darnold cannot take a sack. No matter what, he's going to dump it off to Jones, who gets tackled inbounds. So this could be the last play of the game. Darnold just has to throw it up, give his team a chance. He's not going to be able to. Eagles are going to move on to the divisional round. Second AFC wildcard matchup, we have the Jets with Tyrod taking on Browning, and the Bengals. Jets with the ball first. Tyrod going down. Hendrickson with a sack to start the game. They're going to need him if they're going to turn things around in real life after this 0-3 start, man. I'm pretty shocked, but I'm still not giving up on them. They have too much talent to not turn things around eventually. Ruckert making this a 3rd down and short. Tyrod's the type of quarterback that could take off if you give him a lane. Let's see what he does. On 3rd down, he finds Lazard and gets the first. However, it's another 3rd down situation. A few plays later, man coverage. Mike Williams might be open over the middle. That's exactly where Tyrod's gonna go. He breaks 2 tackles and puts the Jets on the board first. So here's Jake Browning, who did a pretty good job last year filling in for Burrow. However, he had Joe Mixon. Remember, now he has Zach Moss, who wasn't able to get anything on the ground, but clearly they were good enough to make it to the playoffs. So let's just give Browning a chance. I mean, he still has T. Higgins, who makes this a 3rd down and inches. Also, Jamar Chase, of course, Mike Gesicki, a very athletic tight end. He's the man in motion, and Browning's gonna pass it. 5-man rush for the Jets. Browning should have just taken off. Instead, he throws it away, and now the Bengals are gonna punt. So now the Jets have all the momentum. They do nothing with the football in their next drive, but eventually they add to their lead. It's 21-0 heading into half number 2, but here comes Browning and the Bengals. 14-21. Tyrod and that offense was just a little too good. They end up putting up almost 40 points on the Cincinnati defense. 38-28. The Jets are headed to the divisional round. Here come the Cowboys with Cooper Rush taking on Michael Penix Jr. and the Atlanta Falcons in this 11-6 versus 11-6 matchup. First play, Zeke gets tackled for no gain. So it looks like Rush is still going to have to be passing the football. Dallas, at this point in time, has not been able to get the run game going in real life. And the Falcons, as you can see there, have a very talented secondary, arguably the most talented in the league. I mean, you have 3 guys that are Pro Bowl level, and look at what happens. Cooper Rush tries to go to Zeke Elliott. Instead, it's Caden Ellis who got the tackle on 1st down. He ends up getting the INT on 3rd. So now it's 1st and goal for Penix with Pitts, Bijan, Drake London and company. Empty backfield though. On 1st down, Penix gonna throw on the run. Touchdown, Darnell Mooney, who's also having himself a nice start to the season. Trust me, I know all good and well about Darnell Mooney. He scored on my Eagles in week number 2 as part of their comeback. 17-10. Make it, oh my, 31-13 before halftime. What is going on? Where's the defense from Dallas? Dallas. They end up losing 41-23. Penix is headed to the divisional round. Now we're taking a look at Malik Willis and the Packers versus Josh Dobbs and the Niners. Malik, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, he got his revenge on Tennessee, even though he said it wasn't a revenge game. There had to be some feelings in there, okay? And he just went crazy. Had himself probably his best game of his career as he gets taken down after barely getting rid of it. They end up losing 5. Jacobs has been pretty solid to start the season, and we already know about the amount of pass catchers they have. There's one of them, Luke Musgrave, making this a 3rd down 11. Will he go to Watson? Will he go to Dubs? Will he go to Jaden Reed, the man in motion? Let's see what Willis decides to do. He's gonna get sacked. He took too long to make a decision. The Niners force a punt. We've seen Dobbs take over as a backup before and do pretty well, so this is not too shocking to see him do well with this Niners talent. I mean, every position on offense has a guy with abilities. McCaffrey makes it a 3rd down and 6. He's in motion. Packers sending 4. And it's CMC who cannot hold on. What a hit by the Green Bay linebacker. Niners gonna have to punt as well. Who's gonna be the first one to get points on the board? It's the Packers with a field goal. They actually get 2 field goals. However, the Niners have 2 touchdowns, make it 3 before halftime. 21-6. Dobbs has his team in full control. They're still up double digits, and it ends up being a blowout. 41-13. San Fran is headed to the divisional round. I never stopped believing in Justin Fields. I gotta be honest. He just never had like the greatest team around him. No offense to the Bears. You know, now you guys have a great team around your quarterback, but I didn't think Fields ever, had what Caleb has right now. So I'm not shocked to see him do well in Pittsburgh with a great coach and a phenomenal defense. In my opinion, the best defense in the league. 3rd down and 6. Let's see if Fields can keep the chains moving. No, he's going to find his receiver and move the sticks. Now Patterson's back in the backfield. It's man coverage, and Fields is going to find his tight end, Pat Freiermuth, to put the Steelers up in this one. What a drive. Here we go with Zach Wilson getting another chance. First pass a little bit risky. Yeah, who's to say he won't come back years from now, or even months or weeks from now? Who knows what the future holds, man. You can never count out anyone, or at least I'm not going to. After what we've seen from these quarterbacks and their redemption arcs. Here comes the blitz though by the Steelers. Remember, that defense led by TJ Watt is just nasty. He gets the pressure, his teammate gets the sack, and the Broncos are gonna have to punt. This is what the Steelers do best. Get a lead, run the ball, and just keep the lead. That's what you don't want them to do. 14-7 in the second half. Broncos keeping it close, 21-10. Can they make it one possession? No. Final score 27-18. Tomlin does it again. Fields is headed to the divisional round. So our matchups in the divisional round are as follows. The Browns with Jameis taking on the Ravens. The Jets versus the Steelers. The Seahawks versus the Niners, and then the Eagles taking on the Falcons. ATL ends up being the superior bird team in this matchup, 28-27, even though Pickett threw for 3 touchdowns and no INTs. 2 of them went to Smitty, but the Falcons just played a little bit better. The Jets got the better of the Steelers, so Fields and that Pittsburgh defense come up short in their quest for another Super Bowl for the franchise. Tyrod just took care of the football. That's all you need to do. That's what makes him a phenomenal backup, man. He gets yards when he needs to on the ground and doesn't make too many mistakes. The Niners take care of the 1 seed Seattle Seahawks 27-7. What a performance by Josh Dobbs. He outplays Sam Howell. Howell goes down 6 times in this game, I believe. He was one of the most sacked quarterbacks last year, if not the most. So that's a big flaw that he has, and it ends up doing his team in this matchup. And then 31-3, Cleveland takes care of Baltimore in the most lopsided game in the divisional round. Josh Johnson threw 4 INTs. That Browns defense was wreaking havoc. Chubb had 2 rushing touchdowns, and his team is headed to the next round to face off against the New York Jets. And on the other side, we have the Falcons taking on San Fran. The Niners end up winning this one 38-30. Josh Dobbs does it again. 2 touchdowns, no picks. Penix Jr. did pretty well. Just has to take care of the football a little bit more. McCaffrey was too much to handle. 2 touchdowns on the ground. San Fran's team, their roster is incredible, so I'm not shocked to see them here, just like they were in the first video. So can they win this one after losing that Super Bowl? They have a brand new opponent. This time, it's the Cleveland Browns. They end up winning 20-14. Jameis Winston has a chance to become a Super Bowl champion. Tyrod with a rare turnover. himself. Not like him to, you know, make a mistake like that, and it ended up costing his team a chance at a Super Bowl. Both games were really close, one possession, but now it's time to crown a champion. The Niners taking on the Browns. Empty backfield on the 2nd and 10. Clock is stopped. Winston over the middle. Njoku getting him inside the 15. Less than 50 seconds in the Super Bowl. 3rd and 2. Winston to the end zone. Touchdown. Jerry Jeudy with the catch in traffic. But here comes the biggest play of the game, the 2-point conversion. If the Browns don't get it, the Niners win the Super Bowl. They're not going to hand it off to Nick Chubb. It's deflected. So now the Browns need to get this recovery or this one is over. The kick is up and it's right into the hands of Jawan Jennings, who had a phenomenal week 3. Josh Dobbs and this offense comes out in victory formation. And this time the Niners get it done. McCaffrey's a Super Bowl champion. Shout out to Jameis for getting the Browns to the Super Bowl. Maybe Cleveland needs to make a quarterback change. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you on the next one.
'Cause I'm on one, ay, number one, ay, I'm the one, yeah, getting it done, ay, yeah, it's one of them ones, yeah, roll one up, ay, fill my cup, ay, on my way up, yeah, ay, 'cause I'm on one, yeah, number one, I'm the one, yeah, getting it done, ay, it's one of them ones.